Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to our current Bhakti episode. From Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam's perspective, we are at Bhakti Rahasyam episode number 29. This was 2 weeks back when we saw the history of Maharaja Janak, who was a great karma yogi, who did great deeds, and those deeds, selfless deeds, without any expectations, they propelled him to achieve perfection in life. Now, from there, we took a slight deviation. We started exploring the principles of karma yoga as laid down in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Shri Krishna, and how they can impact in our day-to-day life. So just to recap the previous episode, we saw that there are two pillars of karma yoga. The first pillar is where one has to focus on the task at hand rather than the results one is going to achieve. So focus has to be on the work and not on the results. The second pillar was to try and develop a balanced mind where the success or the failure of the tasks or the praises or criticisms should in no way impact the efforts one is putting to reach towards the goal. So focusing the mind on results or all these dualities like praises and criticism, success, failures, joys, sorrows, all these are distractions which prevent one from putting their honest, genuine attempt or efforts to reach the goal. Hence, don't attach your mind into all these distractions, rather focus on the task at hand. Now the episode ended on a note that if one were to work tirelessly, there is a possibility of boredom or monotony kicking in. So is there any solution to reduce this or avoid this boredom or monotony? So before we look into the principles of Bhagavad Gita around this topic, let us take a real life scenario, an office scenario which everyone can commonly relate to, and from there let us try to build the principles of Bhakti Yoga. So here the scenario is, it is the start of the year and the company has finalized its goals, targets to be reached, and what are the key result areas which the employees are supposed to achieve. Now the employees start carrying on their activities with full energy, enthusiasm as the year starts. Then somewhere in the mid of the year, as the year progresses, the energy levels starts dipping down. Now let us add some more scenarios or difficult circumstances here. See, the boss is demanding, or the pressure of expectations shoot up. The deadlines and the deliverables start climbing, start mounting up. So it all seems like a difficult mountain to climb. Now in the midst, there may be one or two unsavory incidents. Someone may praise, someone may criticize. So we may enter into a difficult conversation and a difficult phase. Now apart from that, why only a demanding boss? There could be challenges from the teammates, from the colleagues, from the peers, and since we are overly engrossed in our office work, there will be a pressure from the family for quality time. There will be pressure from friends for not meeting them on a regular interval, or because of the work pressure, one may have skipped some important event in their friend's life. So all these are common situations which we see around us, and we may also have experienced all this. So with the mind completely engrossed in only the professional side, in the office side, what happens is we are in fact dragged into a whirlpool of expectations, and it seems totally a nightmare. So what is the natural logical solution? We may decide to take a break. Enough is enough. Okay, let's go on a holiday, let's try to relax. But even when we are going on a holiday, it's only the physical location changes. These expectations, these words, the tasks, it is still running in our heads. So even we are physically away, the mind is not able to detach itself from the situation in the office ground. So even in the relaxation time, so-called relaxation time, we end up just worrying about the things, about the people who surround us, and what would happen once we go back to the office life after the break ends. Now, this is a common scenario. So here is where we can take the help of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna's sayings. Now, one warning. So it is not that by following the Gita or the principles of Bhakti Yoga, there will be a magical hand which will take you out, lift you out of the office mess and automatically transport you to some greener pastures. So what will Bhagavad Gita do is to create an awareness, an emotional awareness within us, to give that strength and courage to face any difficult situation. Now, there are various management techniques also which help one to combat with these situations. There are various leadership theories, motivational theories, then you have crucial conversations, crucial confrontations. There are many books available on this subject which you can read and try to combat the situation. But at the heart of all this is the human emotion. So unless one is able to master these emotions, master the mind, all these books will help to deal with the situation, but not go and control the mind. That is where Bhagavad Gita comes to our rescue. So what is Lord Krishna asking us to do differently? In chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, which is called Bhakti Yoga, verse 10, he says, Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Which means he is saying to Arjuna that do all your actions for my sake. By doing such actions for my sake, you attain perfection. So if we were to face a difficult scenario or the work seems to be difficult, Krishna is not asking us to desist from the work and run away. Instead, he is saying, perform all those activities for my sake, you will attain perfection. So in this scenario which we were discussing, if we were to integrate this principle of Bhakti Yoga, say there is this demanding boss scenario. He is constantly asking us to prepare reports, graphs, work on some calculations, do this, do that. So when we think that we have to work to satisfy the boss's expectations, that is when the pressure and stress starts getting into our mind. If we were to replace the boss with Krishna, who is the ultimate boss, who is the ultimate senior, and try to say a prayer that, oh Krishna, I have all these tasks in hand, it seems like a mountain. I want to do this to satisfy you, to please your expectations. You can see the difference. You will still be doing your activities, your job, but the mindset towards that particular activity changes, and automatically the work no longer seems a burden. Similarly, if we were to undertake a difficult conversation with, say, a colleague or a peer, and naturally there is some tension, and we have prepared our full paragraph of what we want to outpour in that conversation and score points. Just try to change the attitude and say a prayer that let this meeting be held for Lord Krishna. I am holding this meeting, I am going to talk in this meeting for Lord Krishna's sake. So automatically the mindset will change, and it will surely lead to a mutually acceptable solution for all the stakeholders concerned. So these are some small examples from the office life, which if practiced, one need not be transported to a greener pasture. The office field or the field where one is working, it itself transforms into a greener pasture just because the attitude of the mind has changed towards that particular job. We have replaced the person whom we want to satisfy by Lord Krishna. So there is no more boss, there is no more colleagues, family, friends, everything is converged into Lord Krishna. Now let us take some example outside the work life. So whatever activities we do, say cooking, bathing, driving, playing, working out, or maybe spending some time with the kid to explain him or her some study facts. So all these can also be done for Lord Krishna. So if we were to teach our kid, say, a lesson, so imagine that the person whom you are teaching is not actually your kid, it is Balakrishna. So that way you will automatically feel the pressure coming down to make the kid understand that fact. Or if it were to be an example from cooking, when the mother is cooking, she will be doing it for ensuring that all the people in the family are satisfied with the food. Rather than that, if she, or in many houses even fathers cook, so if he or she were to imagine that the cooking they are doing is for Lord Krishna, it automatically changes the entire flavor of the food, because the food is no longer being cooked for human beings, but it is cooked for the ultimate. So when it is cooked for the ultimate, he himself takes care to ensure that the food is as per his liking, and once it is to that grade, then everybody has to like it. Now there is another verse in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, which explains this concept further. Lord Krishna is saying in that verse, Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yad juhosi, dadasiyat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Here also he is saying, you do it for my sake. What? He is giving some examples. Whatever you do, yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, whatever you eat. Okay, please underline, whatever you do, whatever you eat, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi. Whatever you give or offer. So in these difficult times, pandemic times, we have examples of a lot of people who are outpouring their heart with financial aid or actually going and serving the seniors, elders and those who are in need. So even that activity of giving or offering has to be done for Krishna's sake, rather than having the feeling that, I have such a big heart, I am helping these people in times of need. No. So, yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya. Yat tapasyasi is whatever worship, whatever penance, whatever puja or archana you do for the Lord, do it for my sake, O Arjuna. So, here it is very clear. The Lord is explaining it very clearly. So, one action point for us is, even if we were to struggle with some bad habits, with some addictions, some abuse, so it is best to offer even those actions to Lord Krishna. Now I don't want to get into examples here, but whatever bad habits are harassing us, do those actions for Krishna. Now there can be an ethical question. How can we do all these bad habits, bad actions? How can we dedicate it to Lord Krishna? It's fine if we do all these good things. But here, again, it starts with whatever you do, yat karoshi. So what would happen is, if one were to dedicate even all those bad actions, bad karmas to Lord Krishna, slowly and gradually, he or she can see that change, that transformation which is happening within themselves. After a point in time, that bad karmas or actions would automatically quit from him or her. So the struggle or whatever rehabilitation plan they were going through to come out of a particular habit, the best practice is to offer those to Lord Krishna. So that is the simple philosophy of Bhakti Yoga or the Yoga of Devotion. Have Krishna in the center of whatever we do. So he's not asking you to quit something, rather whatever you are doing, he's just saying, add me. Madarpanam, for my sake. Do all your activities for my sake, and then that is how you will attain perfection. So this is again something not to be seen as just a verse from a scripture and forget it, just read and forget it. No, this is something which has been tried and tested by many people in the past, and it is also helping a lot of people in the present as well. That itself will take so many bhakti rahasyas to explain on the various examples, or the people who have been helped by these verses of doing the action for his sake. So it's all about trying this practice and seeing what impact it makes for oneself. Now we are always in this habit of trying out something new. If it is a different place, different experience, different job, different fashion, anything which comes in, or say a different chocolate which hits the markets, yes, or if it is a new movie, yes, we have to try it. So when we are able to, or our mind is open to trying so many new things, why not try Bhakti Yoga as a new concept and experience the difference it makes in one's life. A word of caution though, Bhakti Yoga is highly addictive. It's a permanent addiction. So once you are into Bhakti Yoga, it's all bliss and peace while carrying out your usual activities. So why not give it a try? So that was all from our current episode of Bhakti Yoga. So last week Karma Yoga, 2 pillars. This week Bhakti Yoga with a simple philosophy of having adding Krishna in all the activities and just going about it and experiencing a blissful life. So that's all for today. Stay devoted, stay blessed, and stay tuned for our next Bhakti Rahasya, where we will be continuing with Thirukkolur Penpillai's benchmarking of various devotees. So that would be her Rahasyam number 30, which we will see in the next week. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.